quick sort, right? So it works in the principle of divide and conquer like merge sort. Okay. So what happens? So it will divide this particular array into two parts and try to find out the solution, right? Like in merge sort we have discussed, similar kind of thing will happen, and then it will try to combine it, right? But in this kind of sorting, so I'll just give the basic idea, then we'll go for the two kinds of algorithm will be used here. One is the intermediate algorithm, which is partition, which is an important algorithm, and merge sort is going to consume that particular partition algorithm, right? So this is the agenda, right? So partition. So this is the algorithm we will discuss. Then we'll go for this quick sort, right? Then we'll go for the quick sort. Then we'll go for the time complexity, right? And when we'll go for the time complexity, we'll understand the time complexity of partition, then quick sort. Okay. So let's first understand the basics, right? So what is the idea, basic idea, right? So like I told, so it follows, right? Quick sort follows the divide and conquer rule or the principle. So how it works? So what it does? So given any particular array, right? So suppose like in the previous class, I had given the example. So suppose this array is like 10 or 2, 15, 3, 40. There is one more array. Suppose this is like 1, 10, 2, 50, right? Suppose there is one more array. So which is like 1, 20, then 30, then maybe 20 here, 10 here, then this is like 50, 40. So what is the one of the things like I like is the thing in this particular given array, if we'll see, there is one commonality in the or one principle that is going to be used in quicksort. So the principle is known as partitioning principle. So we'll go for that in details, but let's try to understand with this example. So in this example, what happens? 40 is the element, so which is in sorted form. So what does that mean? So after if you'll do the sorting, so if you'll see two, so after sorting what it will be 2, 3, 10, 15, 40, right? That means this 40 is not changing its position, right? In this example, you can say 40 is in fixed size, not fixed, right? Is the fixed position. Similarly, in this example, if you look into this, one is already in its sorted position, right? So in this example, if we'll talk about it, 30 is already in the its position, right? So this is how the quick sort will work. So how the quick sort will work? So it will find an element, it will pick up an element, okay, and find it in appropriate position, okay. Suppose, so let's take an example. Suppose what I will say, suppose let's find 30. So 30 was suppose initially here, right? I'm just giving an example. So 30 was initial here. So if I'll ask you, find the appropriate position of the 30. So then what you will do? You will try to find it and final position is here. That means there might be some sorting mechanism is needed in the left hand side. There may be some sorting mechanism is needed in the right hand side, but still this particular 30 is already in sorted form, right? So this kind of scenario is known as partitioning, right? That means you are choosing any element, right? Any element, you will choose any element from the beginning or at the last, or you can choose also randomly, and you choose one element and you did some operation, right? We'll see what are the operation and try to place it somewhere where it is actual in the sorted form. That means after all the sorting, after all the changes, you eventually you will sort this left part, you will sort this right part, but still this is not going to change its position. That means this is in sorted form. Okay. So this is this. So in this example, this element is known as pivot element. And this technique is known as partitioning technique. That means I found the position of 30, it is here, and after that I partitioned into left part and the right part. So that's why this is known as partitioning, right? Choose an element and find its appropriate position. Choose an arbitrary element or maybe beginning element, or you can choose the last element also. Choose an element, then find its appropriate position, put it, and once you put it, the left part is ready to be like it is now a partitioning array. So now partitioning means this is left part, this is right part. So that's why the division will happen. Again, same rule will be applicable here, same rule will be applicable here. So this is the basic principle of the partitioning, right? So let's take an example and understand, right? So how this exactly this partitioning will work, right? So let's take an example. So how it works. Let me take an array. Let me take an array. Okay, so let me take an array. Suppose this is my array containing some element, right? So now we are going to discuss about suppose 10 to or maybe 20. Let me take it as 20, 10, 35, 45, 2, 55, 5. Okay, so this is suppose an given array is given, right? So how this particular partitioning works, right? So now what we are studying, so how this partitioning work, right? So we understood that basic idea. Basic idea is that we'll take one element, find the partitioning point, then partition it, and we'll keep doing that particular thing recursively, right? So that is the idea, we got it. Now let's understand the partitioning. How you will find, suppose I will choose this one as the pivot element, or maybe you can choose at the last, or you can also choose at the random, but that's fine. For now, let's assume that I'm choosing first one as the pivot element. Now the question is, how can you find the appropriate position of that particular element? What is the principle or what is the technique we are going to use? So in this example, so this particular, suppose I'm choosing this first element as the pivot element. Okay, pivot element. So this element is known as pivot element. Okay, so this element is known as pivot element. Okay, pivot element. So now how, what is my objective? My objective is to find the appropriate position of 20 in this particular array, so that left of them actually are less than 20, right? So this will be 20, and all the element present in this particular left side is less than 20, and all element present in the right hand side are greater than 20. So that's how, so this is now fixed, right? Because all the left elements are there, so they will be sorted among themselves, they will be sorted among themselves, but 20 is going to be fixed. And same thing will happen here also, again here also, right? You will divide it into two parts, right? You will find again one of these particular pivot element, you will keep on doing the recursively. So that is the main idea. Now how this particular program or how this particular algorithm works, so let's take an example, right? So let's take this particular example and understand, right? So what are the things we need to take? So suppose this is my low, and this, or left, you can say left or right or whatever maybe, and this is my, so I am just adding an infinity. Why, you will understand. Just one second. Maybe this is my high, this is my low, this is my high. Okay, and what other variables I'm taking? I'm taking two more variables. So suppose this is my I variable and it is my J variable. I'll tell you what we are doing actually. Okay, so what we are doing, and this particular element, since so 20 is as a pivot element. Okay, so now what you will do, let's try to understand, right? So how this partitioning will work. So basically, what is your objective? If you'll think about what is your objective, you need to partition this way, right? So 20 should be there here, and all the left element are present in this particular left hand side, right? So that is the main objective, right? So that is the main objective, right? So all the elements lesser than 20 is present in this particular left hand side, and all the element greater than 20 is present in the right hand side. So that is our sole purpose of this particular partitioning algorithm, right? So now what should I do, right? What should I do that I can achieve that particular thing, right? If you'll think about what should you do, right? So you should start with this I. Let me move this I one step. Now I is here, and J we will move. So what we'll do, since you need a left hand side, so you need a smaller number, right? because all the smaller number needs to be present in this particular left hand side. So if we'll see any number so which is less than 20, then don't do anything, because I need a lesser number. Lesser number means 10, all these things are lesser number, right? So if I have a lesser number than 20, I have a lesser number than 20, then don't do anything, just increment I, right? I is going to be here, right? So now I is having a number which is greater than 20, right? 35 is greater than 20. So ideally it should be in this side. That is our objective. So that means I need to, this is my 35, 10 is in right direction because it is less than, but 35 is in the left hand side, but that's, so I am doing a partitioning. So that means all the elements less than 20 should be present in this. So 35 should be go here in that side, but 35 will go to where? So let's try to understand. The same logic I will apply. So if I see a greater number, infinity is a greater number, then I am okay. So if I say greater number, then I will simply increment j, because in this side I need a greater number. So infinity I am doing no changes. Like 10 I did not did changes because it is a less number. Similarly infinity. Now I am having a j which is 5. Now if we'll see, so this is my I, this is my j. Now I find a element which is greater than here, I find another element which is less than. But this side should not contain a less than element. This side should not contain a greater than element. All the elements should be less than here, greater than here. So what I will do, I will simply swap them. We have understood that partitioning algorithm. This is the partitioning algorithm. So this is going to be fj. There was one change. So this is partitioning algorithm. So we understood this particular concept. Now this is how the partitioning will work. So this happened only for one, right? One single element. So what you need to call? So if we'll go for the next, which is quicksort. So quicksort is pretty straightforward, right? So once you partition this, then what you need to do? You need to call again for the left part and the right part. Suppose let's talk about the left part. Again, once you call the left part, then this will be in sorted form, right? And again you will call second. So then again you will find the position, appropriate position of each element, and whenever there is a single element, that means everybody is in sorted form, right? Because you are swapping every element and you are finding the appropriate position. Then what you need to do, you just simply call the partitioning algorithm and then recursively call for left part and right part. So that's what this quicksort algorithm says. Let me write it quickly. So quicksort. So what are the parameter it is going to take? It is again going to take the same parameter. Low, A is the array, low and high, right? So this is the going to take, and what it will do, it will simply do if low is less than high, right? So that means if low is less than high, what it will do, it will do a partitioning, right? So that means j equal to, so it will call this partition method, right? Partition a low high, right? It will call the partitioning method, and once the partitioning is done, then it will call the quicksort method, right? Again recursively quicksort. This time what are the parameter? So a, so then left and j, right? Left and j, right? That means this is the partitioning point, this is the jth point, right? So that means this is the left part, this is the right point, right? So again it will call the right part, right? So this is the left part quicksort call. Again recursively it will call the quicksort a j. This time it is going to be j plus 1, right? Because j is considered till this point. So j plus 1 comma high. Okay, so this is the complete algorithm, right? So this if is started from here, actually ended here, and this quicksort is started here and ended here. So this is the quicksort algorithm, pretty straightforward, right? So once we understand this particular partitioning algorithm, what it will do, it will first partition it and recursively call for the left one and recursively call for the right one. So until we do keep on recursively calling, then every element at any stage, if one element is going to be actually in the sorted position, right? So finally whenever this array will come into picture, then all the elements is going to be in the sorted form, right? So this is the quicksort algorithm. Now the question is that what is the time complexity, right? What is the time complexity of this particular quick sort, right? So this particular partitioning algorithm, we know that it is order of n, right? Order of n. But what is the time complexity of this particular quick sort, right? So let's, in order to understand that, right? Let me tell you one example, right? Suppose this is my array, right? Suppose this is my given array. So what it is doing, suppose 8 elements are there. So if you know, so 1 8, right, or 0 to 8, right? So 0 to 8 elements is there, right? So what it will do, it will find the partitioning point, right? It will find the partitioning point and it will call 0 to 4 maybe, and maybe 5 to 8. This is the element, right? It will partition this array, right? This will partition this array into two parts. One is 0 to 4 and one is 5 to 8. Okay. And then what will happen? So this will again partitioned, right? So maybe 0 to 1 and 2 to 4, or 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 3 to 4 maybe. Let me 0 to 2, 3 to 4. Okay. Same ways, right? So it will be like 5 to 6, 7 to 8, right? So this is one more partition. Then this is going to be like, this is going to be 3, this is going to be 4, this is going to be 5, this is going to be 6, that way. Okay. So this is going to be 7, this is going to be 8, this is going to be 0 1, again 2, this is going to be 0 1. Okay. So what I'm trying to say, so if you'll see, in order to find one step, so this is what it is doing in this step. So this is order of n, because it is trying to find out the actual position, this position, partitioning point. So each step is taking order of n time, right? Each step is taking order of n time, right? If you know each step, because each step is calling this partitioning method, right? So partitioning, this each step needs a partitioning method. So that means in each step, the time complexity is going, the partitioning is going to contribute to order of n. Now the question is that how many number of steps, right? So if this is one step, this is one step, this is one step, this is one step, then what is the number of steps it is going to be executed? It is a best case analysis I am doing. I will go for the worst case analysis, right? So in case of best case, so if this is going to be divided equally, right? I'm assuming that two array is given and every time this is giving a equal partitioning, right? In that case, so what will be this particular height of this particular tree, because it is like a tree and which is having equal length, right? So that means this is equally divided, right? So that kind of tree, right? So it is like height balance kind of tree is going to be generated, because it is going to be equally nodes distributed in every level, right? So that's why the height is going to be log n, right? So the height is going to be log n, right? So the height is going to be log n, right? The height is going to be log n, right? So if it is log n, so then the time complexity, so this is big of n, big of n, big of n, n, and how many number of levels? For each level, this is n. How many levels? It is log n level. So what is the time complexity? Time complexity is n log n, n log n. Okay, so this is the time complexity, but this is the best time complexity, best case time complexity, time complexity. So this is the best case time complexity. Why this is the best case time complexity? Because the in the best case only the partitioning will happen in the equal part, right? So equal part, that means it will be divided into equal form, and the height of the tree is almost going to same for each level. But what about the worst case? Okay, and this is one of the important question, right? And when worst case will be happen, right? Worst case analysis. Now we are going to study what is the worst case analysis of the quick sort, right? That is what we are going to study. Okay, so think about this way, right? Suppose my tree is, the partitioning is like, suppose same 08 index, but this is going to be like, suppose the array is already in sorted form, right? 2 3 4 5 6, or maybe 60 70, like this is my given array. So what will happen, right? So if you'll think about it, so if you'll think about it, what will happen? Again, you will take this particular as the pivot element and you will try to compare it. Okay, so this is 3, you will take I and j, right? I is okay, this is greater number, so you will stop it here. J, you will get a greater, ultimately you will not do swap, any swap, right? So that means after this step, so what will my division? So 2 will be like 2 is now appropriate position. I feel if you see that is already in appropriate position, you did all the comparison because that is also useless, right? Because it is already sorted form and that is not going to swap with any number. Again you will go to for next 3 4 5. Now your new like two partitioning, right? So there is no left array for this, right? So that means this is going to be an appropriate position, this is only the right array. So if you see 3 4 5, again you will take this pivot, again you will take this as I and you will state here because it is a greater number, j will be decremented because you are getting a small, you are searching for a smaller number, but there is no smaller number, right? Then finally we will divide this particular array. Again the 3 is in appropriate position, then you will search for 4 5 60 70, right? So that means what is happening, if you see, unnecessarily I am performing n number of tasks, right? And every time I am only sorting how many elements, only one number of elements. So that means this tree will be height. What will, if there are n number of elements are there, suppose there are n number of elements are there, 0 1 2 3 dot 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 n number of elements. So what will be the height of the tree, right? Each, this is a partitioning, so this is going to take order of n, so this is going to take order of n, right? Earlier the height of the tree was log n, so that's why it was like big ol n log n, because n is for every height, sorry, every partition, and there are log n number of partitions, right? So that's why. But here big O n is the for every partition, again that is same, but what is the height of the tree, right? So this is going to be, because this is only containing only one element, this is rest of the element, only 0 to 8 means it is going to be 1 to 7, then again it is going to be only 2 to 0 to 8 means 1 to 8, 2 to 8, 3 to 8, that means only one element at a time, right? So at any particular step, so it is taking only one element, right? So that means how many number of, what will be the height of the tree? It, the height of the tree is going to be big of n, right? Or n number of step, because at one step you are only considering one element, right? There is nothing division, right? So there is only one element, rest of the element in the next phase, right? Next phase, then one element, next of the element is going to the next right hand side, next element, right? So that means how many number of steps I will be computing, total this height of the tree will be n, right? N. So that's why each step, right? Or each partitioning, each step is going to take order of n, because partitioning take order of n, right? This is taking order of n, and how many number of partitioning you are doing, or how many number of recursive call you are doing, or n number of, right? So that's why the time complexity is going to be n into n, which is going to be big of n square, right? So that is going to be the worst case time complexity, right? So worst case time complexity of quicksort is going to be order of n square, right? So if you'll see, so why you need to understand, so right, so we have already discussed the best case is going to this one and the average case is going to this one also. So the worst case is going to be this one. So this is what this particular, because this in the worst case the tree is like this, right? It is like linear, every element. And somebody can ask, what is the situation where quicksort will perform worst? This is the situation where if the elements are already in sorted form, that particular situation or that particular array is going to give you the worst case situation for quicksort. Okay. Now somebody can ask, can I improve, right? How can I improve, right? How can I improve my this particular worst case? So that's why sometimes what happen, so the choosing of this pivot can be changed, right? So since you are choosing this one as the pivot, so that's why you are comparing with every element and you are finding like conclusion. You can choose middle element, okay, middle element as the pivot, right? Or else you can choose the random, right? Random element as the pivot. So if you are choosing that, then there is a possibility that okay, in the worst case, so that but worst case will eventually go for order of n square, but still there is a possibility that it will perform little faster, right? Because we are choosing the fast element, so that's why